Please tell us your name.
Ngawang Gyurmey Chagzoetsang. Chagzoetsang is the
Okay.
kind of
Chagzoetsang.
Chagzoetsang. It means the residence,
It
residence of Chagzoetsang.
It means from that place.
Give me right.
So
My
it's
family
Ngawang Gyurmey
name.
from
Chagzoetsang.
Chagzoetsang. Where is Chagzoetsang? In what part of Tibet?
Karze, Kham.
In Kham.
Yes.
Khampa man.
Kham, yes, Kham.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama asked us to record your experiences so that we can share your memories with many generations of Tibetans, the Chinese, and the rest of the world. Your memories will help us to document the true history, culture, and beliefs of the Tibetan people. Do you give your permission for the Tibet Oral History Project to use this interview?
Yes, sure.
Thank you for offering to share your story with us. During this interview, if you wish to take a break or stop at any time, please let me know. If you do not wish to answer a question or talk about something, please let me know. If this interview was shown in Tibet or China, would this be a problem for you?
I don't think so, no.
We are honored to record your story and appreciate your participation in this project.
Sure.
Thank you. So I'll begin again by asking your name. Your name is?
Ngawang Gyurmey Chagzoetsang.
And what year were you born?
Actually, 1941.
41. Okay. And your age now?
73.
73. And that was the Tibetan calendar year of what?
Calendar year of horse, I think.
And so where are you from in Tibet? Like where was the village that you were born in?
Karze,
Karze.
yes. Karze district is
Karze.
that's where my parents are from.
That's right. And that's where you were born.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. I think I was born in, I'm not sure, either in Karze or Lhasa.
You're not sure which place.
And my parents are moved in Lhasa for a long, long time ago.
Okay, I see.
And
I see. But where they were born in Karze Kham, what was the nearest monastery or temple?
Karze Gomba.
Was it Karze?
Yes, Karze Monastery.
Karze Monastery.
And also there's a Tarje Monastery.
Ah, yeah, Dargay. And what was your father's name?
Losan Sante,
And your mother?
Yang Chen Kangro.
Okay. And so when you were born, how many people were in your family?
When I was born, about, let's see, our brother, the first son was, I think, didn't survive, the first one. We are actually 7 of us.
7 children?
Yes.
And where are you in that order?
Second.
You're the second from the
Yes.
oldest? And did the older one survive above you?
Yes.
He did,
He's
okay.
living. Yeah.
And you're the second from the oldest, really. And what were they boys or girls?
5 boys and 2 girls.
5 boys. Woo. What kind of work did your father do?
My father is a businessman.
Yeah.
He started business in Lhasa, and also he has a retail shop and also export and import between Tibet and India, and between Tibet and Kham
I get it.
area.
And what kind of goods do you have? Can you remember what kind of things that he import or trade?
Import from India all the
Material?
materials. Yeah, all kinds of materials and different stuff.
Yeah.
And also he import from China. It's part of China now.
Yeah.
From tea, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Tibetan tea,
Tibetan tea.
and imported to Lhasa.
Uh-huh.
And also northern part of Tibet, he brought all the wools, and he shifted to India.
He was
so,
very
yes,
widely traveled.
Yes,
He
he
went
does.
from northern Tibet to India,
Yes.
and
Also,
then
he has some people working for him.
he has
also,
people working
yes.
for him.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how many people? Like 5 or 25?
I can't
You can't say.
I can't tell, but you know.
Was he a successful businessman?
I think so.
You think
He's
so?
good, yes.
Pretty successful.
Mm-hmm.
And so in Lhasa, did he actually have a shop in Lhasa?
We have a shop,
Oh, what did they sell?
and mostly tea from Kham, you know.
From Kham.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You say Tibetan tea, but it was tea brought from China.
It's
Black tea.
you know, Kangding Tachedo.
Okay.
Tachedo. That's where they get the tea from.
That's
you
where
know.
they get it, from
Yeah, that's
Darcedo.
I think right between China and Tibet.
And Tibet, on the border.
Yes, border kind of town type.
And so, can you tell us any of your earliest memories as a child growing up? Did you play with your brothers and sisters? What did you do?
Oh, yes, of course we play, and we play all kinds of stuff.
Really?
What can I
All
say?
kinds of
Yes,
games?
all kinds of games. And we also play cards and stuff.
Did you? But your family were traders, so did you still have animals? Did you have any animals in the family?
Oh yes.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, your father
At
needed
that time,
animals.
most transportations are mules, and it's not really yak from Kham. They are like 60, 70 with the tea and stuff, you know.
They would,
Come through, and then they sell those animals.
they would sell them off.
Last time we saw. And also, yeah.
Yeah. Did he, when your father would come back from his trading missions, did he ever bring any toys or stuff for you to play
Oh
with?
yes, of course.
What did he bring?
It's from India. He bring these rubber balls, and also plastic kind of made,
Plastic
toys.
what? Toys?
Yeah, different type of toys.
Like what? Like trucks or airplanes?
Yes, yeah, airplanes and
Plastic toys.
and bike.
Bicycles?
Not, yeah. He brought later on.
Yeah.
He brought bicycles,
Oh.
but
They were unusual in Tibet.
yes, that's much later.
Yeah.
I mean, earlier days we don't have bicycles.
Yeah, you didn't. What about any food that you liked? Did he bring you any special food?
Oh well, he brings all kinds of sweets and stuff
Sweets.
from India, and biscuits and all that.
I bet you were happy when he would come back.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were happy.
And he goes away for quite some time, in India sometimes.
How did the family,
but
when
then
you're,
he come
when a
back.
father goes away for such a long time, like 2 months, 3 months, how long?
Yes, maybe at least a month or so.
A month or
Yeah,
so? How did the family manage by themselves? Did you?
Oh well, my mom, and she has help,
She had help,
Yes.
like different servants or people?
Also, we have a store downstairs in Lhasa.
A store
Yeah, there's one or two people working there.
working there. Did you
So
have
they
any
all kind of,
uncles that stayed with the family?
Oh yes. My uncle, my mom is from Sandutang. It's a Kham
Kham
Yeah.
area.
Kham area. Sandutang. Sandutang is very big business people. It's Sandutang and Pondatang. There's two family those two are biggest business people
Really?
in Lhasa area also,
Uh-huh.
all over Kham.
You know what? Could we say it a little louder so we can hear the name of where your mother's summit come?
Sandu Chang.
Sanduton.
Sandu Chang.
Okay.
Sandu.
Sandu.
Uh-huh.
Chang.
Chang. Yeah.
Okay.
Sandu Chang.
Mother. Okay. And so, what's life like in your house growing up? Is it fun? Is it hard work, or what's
It's
it like?
fun.
It's fun.
For us, it's fun. I mean, we are still kids, and
Yeah.
just all we think of is playing and stuff.
Yeah.
But the most difficult is going to school.
Oh.
School
Why?
in Lhasa, Tibetan school in Lhasa. Now I think of it, I going to school hate because all day you have to write, okay? Writing is one thing. That's also, you kind of write the same thing all day long. From morning, it's about from 6 o'clock to maybe 7 o'clock, we have some prayer to say, and also reading a little bit. And after that, we go to breakfast and come back, and maybe it's around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Then from then on, we start writing till middle of the day, about 12 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Then they let you out for lunch break, and maybe 1 o'clock we come back and we start writing again till 4, 5 o'clock at least, I think.
Oh my God! Every
So
day.
that's every day, same thing. We rewrite.
What were the words that you were writing?
They have one.
Scripture.
We call it this. They got one scripture to look at it,
To look at.
and you have to write that.
Did you
Same
copy
thing,
it?
yeah, same thing.
Copy it.
Right, and we have those planks,
They're made of wood
Yes, made of wood.
and covered
And,
with what?
Covered with white
White chalk,
white chalk, powdered chalk,
powdered chalk.
and then you just make lines
And
and then write. Then after you write, you have to show it to somebody, and then wash
Erase
it
it?
again, and then write again.
Oh God!
That reciting, it's all day. I mean,
Was it the same, like the scripture in front of you? Was it the same amount of words every day? The same piece of scripture
yes, same piece of
every
scripture.
day? Do you remember what it
Everything,
said?
yeah.
What did it say?
I really don't remember clearly right now, because that when I was going to school, about I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
I was doing that maybe 2 years, 3 years, something like that. Nothing but,
Nothing but that.
and I was really hate to going to school.
Yeah, I could see.
And then my mom get mad. You're not doing good, because we get also beating from the school,
Yeah.
And
Who was teaching you?
okay, in Lhasa, we have about, let's see, 5, 6 schools, different schools. And they are not really funded by government or anything like that, but teachers are volunteers, and they start their school, and I think they get maybe from parents, they offer them, gifts and stuff. And also when you join first at school, you give all the students tea and rice and all that, and then some money
Got it.
also. And that's how we first we joined
How you made
school.
Were they were
And,
Tibetan teachers?
Yes, Tibetan teachers. And one this particular school is called Nyarongsha. That's where I went to
That's
school.
where you went.
And,
The children, what age did they start?
It's all different.
Really?
No such age limit or anything like that, you know. And I was started around 7, I think.
Around 7. And were you learning when you were copying the letters, right?
Yes,
See it, you
copying
had to
the letters.
copy
Yeah,
it.
that you write, you know.
You're writing it.
And
But could you
and,
read the letters? Could you read what they meant?
they don't really explain it to you.
They didn't tell you what they meant.
No,
So they
no.
look like drawings.
Yes, like you know, and it's a very. They think it's very important to writing is nicely write. You know, I mean.
To copy the script. Very
Yes,
important.
copy of the
Did you
script.
learn how to read
And yes, later on,
later on?
but not in that school.
Wow.
Maybe I learned some, but
Uh-huh.
not much in that
Not
school.
much in
Then
that school.
one day my mom was so upset with me, and you are not doing good. Okay, from now on you're going to go to Sera Monastery. To there's my uncle, you know. He's a geshe there, you know. And you're going to go to Uncle Geshe's. And you are not doing good at the school. So I was so happy. Yes, I'm going.
Yes,
You know.
let me out.
Yeah, let me out. I'm going to go to.
So you became.
Uncle
Did you
Geshe.
become a monk?
And not really at that time.
Not at-
I mean, you know, I was just stay with my uncle,
I see.
and he taught me a lot of memorized prayers and reading scriptures and how to write. You know, really explained writing.
Was it better than your other school?
Yes, much better.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so I was staying with my uncle.
At the monastery.
That's Sera Monastery.
Yeah.
That's quite close to Lhasa.
Was that kind of typical that sometime an uncle would bring in a nephew and teach him? Was that typical?
Not everybody,
Not
but
everybody.
you know, some might do.
Some might do
you know,
that.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And
Did your family kind of help support him a little bit, buy him tea and sampa?
oh yeah, sometimes they bring a supply. Since I was living there, you know, they bring some supplies and stuff also.
Some spice
Yeah,
and stuff? How
Yes.
old
Yes,
was your...
my uncle is from Sandutan family also. When I told you earlier.
From the Samasan family?
Yeah, Sandu, they call Sandu Geshe.
Sandugeshe?
Uh-huh.
And was he a young uncle or very old?
He's old.
He was old?
He's old.
About how old do you think?
I think when I was there, he must be around 60,
Wow.
61.
Really?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he's in 60s.
What was his personality like?
Oh, he's very gentle.
Was he?
Very, very gentle, yeah.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Did you like him?
Yes, of course.
He's very gentle. My. So you actually had a private teacher.
Right.
He was like a
private teacher.
private tutor.
And also my uncles sometimes sent me to a different teacher. They sometimes give tuition, you know,
Yeah.
to a few kids.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I go there too.
And
to,
what to do what?
Reading and writing.
For
and
more
stuff
reading
like
and
that.
writing
Yes.
with more kids.
Yeah, yeah.
With several kids. Ah. So that was better than the other school?
Oh yeah, much better.
Much better.
Yes.
Like smaller classes and
smaller classes and.
what do you did you learn how to
nobody's
read
going
and
to
write?
beat you. Pardon me?
Did you learn how to read and write under your uncle?
Yes.
You did.
I did.
Wow. Could,
Much
what,
better than the school where I was going in
good.
Lhasa. Yes.
how did your mother feel?
Oh, she's very glad, you know.
She's
Yeah.
It was a good idea.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Good idea. What happened next?
Next, then, when I was about 16 years old, and my parents, they decided to send me to a Gaden Monastery with my two siblings, two small ones. Mainly, I have to look after those two. Yes. Three of us went to the Gaden Monastery. Yes.
You know, your father was a trader. Why would he want? Did he want you to be a monk and his two sons to be monks?
Yes, and he chose my oldest brother, sent to India to study in a Catholic
School?
private school. Yes,
Which city in India?
Darjeeling.
Darjeeling?
Yes.
Catholic school?
Yeah, Catholic.
Jesuit?
No, St. Joseph's.
St. Joseph's?
Yeah, St. Joseph's.
St. Joseph's Catholic school
Yes.
in Darjeeling.
Yeah,
And what did he study there?
English.
English?
Yes.
Your father wanted his sons to be educated.
Right. I think he's supposed to look after all of us.
Oh, the oldest son.
That's my father's plan, I guess.
The oldest son
Yes,
would look
he's
after
yes.
everybody. But why didn't he want his sons to become traders like himself?
Well, whatever you do, business,
Yeah.
And he thought maybe you need educated.
No matter what you do.
Yes.
So wow, how did you
successful?
how did you feel about he sent you to Gaden when you were 16? Did you want to go?
Yes, of
You
course.
did?
Yeah.
Why?
And with my two other brothers, two small brothers.
Why did you want to be a monk?
And well, that's what my father's wish, my parents' wish. They think that's an easier life for you.
Really?
And
Did you think that that was a good idea?
yeah, at that time, sure, of course. But I really didn't want to study any. I was the boss, and I kind of two younger brothers. I let them study, and I was kind of the boss of the. So.
You were like the boss of your younger brothers?
Yes.
You didn't want to study special
Not
stuff?
much, really.
Not much.
I was really, I don't know. But then I was thinking like, okay, I'll wait till I'm 20 years old, then I'll do some business for us,
Something else.
Yeah. Three of us kind of one family,
Yeah.
at that time.
Like, did you think maybe if at 20, maybe you would leave the monastery and do something else?
Yeah, I can go out and do business and come
Some
back.
business.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That's what I was planning.
Yeah. So the monastery was like going to college or high school, that you go and you study
Yeah.
and you learn.
Right. And also most monks are to live there,
Yeah,
all their life.
I know.
Not just, graduate and get out. It's
No,
not
they
like
live there
that.
all their
Yeah,
life.
all their life.
Did you want to live there all your life?
Yeah, I guess. At that time,
Uh-huh.
And three of us become one family.
Ah.
And I was thinking like, okay, just now, whatever we need, we can get it from our parents from Lhasa.
Right.
And when they pass away or something, what to do,
Yeah.
I was really, kind of sometimes worried a little bit,
What could you were worried? How would you survive?
Yes, and then in monasteries, monks are mostly, they survive, but they still need extra,
They do.
Food.
Food.
And yeah,
They do.
and so sometimes I was thinking like, that I have to do something, later on.
You would have to maybe do some kind of work or job later on.
Yeah, do some business, like.
Could you still be a monk?
Oh yeah, sure.
Could you still be a monk and do something later on?
Yes.
You could.
course,
You
yeah.
could be a monk, and could you then go
You
do
can
some
get
trade
out and do your business and come back.
and
you
come
know.
back to the
Yes,
monastery?
You can
That
do
that was
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like at Gaden, how many monks were in the monastery?
Gaden Monastery, when I was there, there's two Tatsang, you know, Karze and Changze. And both maybe have close to 2,000 each. Maybe at least 3,000 or 4,000 monks.
So there was
in Gaden Monastery.
one Gaden in Chagzoetsang? Is that what you said? No. Two monasteries. Gaden
Yeah,
had
Karze and Changze.
Oh,
That's
Karze,
two, two college, you know.
two colleges in the same place.
Yes, same monastery.
So one had 2,000,
The other one maybe yes,
maybe
pretty
the
much
same.
same.
Two
That's why I'm
colleges.
just guessing, you know. It's
Yeah.
not.
Did
exactly,
people
yeah.
go to a different? Did you go to the place like where you came from? If you came from this part of Lhasa, you went to this college or this place.
Okay, that's a different story.
Ah,
From father's side,
yeah,
when they come to from Kham to Lhasa,
yeah.
if he was or one of his son or whatever go to a monastery, he's supposed to go to Gande.
I see.
And some family they have you know, maybe Sera on their room.
They would go to different ones,
Yes.
depending on where the family had gone.
Yes. And also there we have sections like, you know, all the, Tehor is the whole Kham area. Okay, Karze, Targe. All this area is called Tehor.
Tahor, yes.
Tehor, each Tehor they have a Sera, Gande, and Depu. They have their own section.
In
you
each
know,
of those areas.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have their own building. They have their own. They can join it there. You know.
In each of the three major monasteries.
Right. Each of three major ones.
They had their own section.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
So, I want to back up a little bit. Before you went to the monastery with your two brothers when you were 16, you said you had to go to school when you started school and you didn't like it. How long did you have to go to school and just practice writing? How many years?
Well, till you become, it's okay. Maybe,
But your mother
know.
made you
And,
start school at age
yes,
7, and you had to go till
8,
16?
9. Maybe I was there about 2, maybe a little more than 2 years.
2 years, from
Yes.
7,
From
8,
there-
9, yeah?
From there, she sent me to my uncle's
Okay, then you went to your uncle's
till I was 16.
till you were 16. What happened at 16?
16, then my parents want me to come and go to Gande.
Gone down with your brothers.
Yes,
Oh
with
boy.
my two brothers.
Did they want to go with you?
Oh, of course, yeah, they are also excited.
They were excited.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you have the same room or the same dormitory with them?
we have same room.
You have the same.
They give you, provide you a little, you know, apartment type.
Wow. So your mother has only one child left. One goes to India.
Yeah, the
3 of
oldest
you go
one,
here.
and the 3 goes to monastery.
3 girls to the
No,
3 boys.
3 of us go to monastery.
Yeah.
And then one younger than me, he's in Lhasa also. He's going to school there. And then 2 youngest ones, 2 sisters.
2 sisters.
Yes.
They stay with mother?
They're still at home.
They stay at home?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about when you were in Lhasa before. Oh, you went to live with your uncle. Did you do you remember Lhasa? What was Lhasa like when you were a boy, a young teenager? Was Lhasa exciting place, a nice place?
Lhasa is a nice place, yes.
Why was it nice?
Because we enjoy whatever we want, you know. You can get it in Lhasa if you have some money.
Uh-huh.
You can buy whatever.
What did you like to buy in Lhasa?
Well, all kids stuff, you know, candies.
Candies?
And I mean, Tibetans, they have a way of saying, if you can't get something that you want in Lhasa, then that's not good. They say, you know, you can get anything you want in Lhasa.
Okay. Uh-huh. Because it has everything.
Yeah, right. In Lhasa, if you have money, you can get anything.
In Lhasa.
In Lhasa, that's what they say.
So,
And my father always said that we were younger, we used to say, let's go back to Kham, you know. And he would say, no, you don't know. Kham is a very rough place.
really?
And Lhasa is the best place you can live, you know. And
Do you know what he
business
meant?
and everything.
What did he mean by that?
Well, I don't know, but he didn't really want to go back.
He didn't want to go back. Was it rough because it was just physically hard to live there, or was it rough because it was dangerous of people, or, you know, were the Chinese there? Were there any warlords there? What made it?
Way back, there are a lot of fighting, you know,
A lot of fighting.
in between tribes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of
Between the nomad
way
tribes.
back. Between the tribes, you know, between the families and stuff. They used to have, I think, way back.
Way back. Now, when you were in...
And he didn't really like
He didn't like it.
the way, you know.
Did you notice any Chinese in Lhasa when you were growing up?
Oh yes, yeah. We used to have Chinese people do business in Lhasa. They have stores, restaurants, and that's before Communist China came.
So this was before, like before what year? Before 1950? Before 1950.
Yes.
And what was the
And
relationship?
right around that time, Chinese communists start, you know,
Starting to come.
pushing. And so Tibetan government, they did all the Chinese sent back to China. From Lhasa to China, you know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The Tibetan government asked?
Yes.
Did they, or was that an order?
Yeah, order.
They
They
ordered
don't
all
want.
the...
They don't want any Chinese in
Really?
Lhasa
I never heard that.
living. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they
The-
sent back.
The Tibetan government, and did they go?
Oh
Did
yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember
we
what
saw
you-
them when we were kids. We saw them living
Is that
back,
right?
and yeah.
Wow. How many,
And,
like, do you have any idea how many?
I really
100,
don't know
1,000?
how many. Maybe hundreds up. I
Maybe
don't know,
hundreds?
but
Why did the Tibetan government order them to go back to China?
because they don't want the Chinese coming in Lhasa and living, you know.
Okay.
And,
I see. They ordered them to go back to
right.
China, and they went
They went. Of course, they have no choice. I
went.
mean, you know.
because
They're
they were
not-
in a different country.
Right.
They were in Tibet,
Right.
which
yeah,
is not
right.
China,
No, which is not China. Right.
because they were not
Yeah.
in their own country.
No.
Okay. The Chinese
So
say
Chinese better go to China, and Tibetans better live in Tibet. That's how it is.
that's how it
that
was.
time,
I see.
But then Chinese communists marched, you know, in Tibet. So
Do you
can't
remember
do
that?
anything. Yeah.
What were you doing when you were? When's the first time you saw the Chinese
We were
march?
still a kid, you know.
You were a kid.
I mean, Chinese horse people, they marched in thousands in Lhasa from different, you know. And also they started from Kham area.
Yeah.
And the Kham area, they did a lot of fighting, but of course you can't.
Yep.
They will send 100 Chinese soldiers to few combats. You know, that's,
Yeah.
not-
They sent Chinese soldiers to fight the Compass?
oh yeah. Combats, there are a lot of combats they left, you know, their families, and they went to mountains and fought with communist China
Yes, they did.
before they came, you know. Then
What-
of course you can't.
When did your life change because of the Chinese?
Not much. Ever since we left 1959, that's a big change.
Well, what happened? What made you leave?
Because they are taking over everything. I mean, you know, Lhasa and danger in His Holiness' life, Dalai Lama's life. And everybody was kind of struggling.
You were living, though, with your two brothers
Yes.
in Gaden Monastery.
Mm-hmm.
And you were now you said you were about 16, right? When you went with your brothers,
Yeah.
right? You were 16.
Uh-huh.
And so, let's see, at 16, so that was like around 1957, you were at Gaden Monastery.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Okay. What happened at Gaden Monastery? Did the Chinese come to Gaden?
At that time, no.
They didn't come at
No.
that time.
At that time, no. And maybe they might have came after we left,
Oh, maybe after you left.
1959. Yeah,
I see.
after we left, most of the monks are left, you know?
Really?
And then they might have come
And
and destroy everything. I guess.
why did you leave, though? Was it
We
just
didn't want to stay under Chinese,
you didn't want to? Who
and
was
the Chinese taking over everything in Lhasa,
in Lhasa?
and we can hear the gunshots
Really?
in Ganda.
So who left with you?
With me, I have three friends, same area from Kham, and they helped me with the two kids,
Wow.
and we left the monastery.
Were there other people in your group, or just the
Just
those
us,
friends?
you know, just us. But there are a lot of other people going, you know.
They were leaving.
Yes, not in the same group, but
How did you know the Chinese were taking over things if you were living in the monastery?
we get word from, you know, Lhasa. It's not very far, and what's going on. Because we couldn't reach in Lhasa, too dangerous to go
Oh.
there, you know, in between. And there are lots of Chinese soldiers by then in Lhasa area, and
I see.
all around Lhasa they have military camps, you know.
Camps all around Lhasa?
Yes.
Were you in any kind of contact with your parents?
No, not 1957, I think, yeah, right around 57, my father sent my mom and two sisters to India.
Oh.
Because my mom has a problem with the skin disease, you know, on her foot. So actually, he sent them to
India.
for medical reasons, you know. Yeah.
Do you know what the problem was?
I really don't know. It's underneath the foot, and it's Every once in a while,
It hurts.
it really hurts. And she was treated in Kalimpong and treated in Calcutta
Wow.
in India.
Did they give her? Did it heal her problem? Make it better?
Not all were. I mean, I don't know what. But she has to put medicine and rest every evening.
Oh.
For that reason, my father sent them to India with the two little girls. And my older brother is already in school there in Darjeeling. And now my father and one of my younger brother, the third one, they are in Lhasa.
Wow.
Those two. And
Did he send you a message like, please leave, go? Did he tell you to take your brothers and leave?
no,
He didn't.
we never contact each
No
other,
contact.
because it's too dangerous to go.
Got it. So you had to make the decision yourself.
Yes, and by then they have a guerrilla fighters in south of Lhasa,
Yeah.
in Phokha. In that area, guerrilla fighters in that group, one of my uncles is also there, Sanduchang.
What was his name?
Sanduchang,
Sanduchang?
yeah.
So he belonged to the
Yes,
Chushigandruk?
Yes, Chushigandru, he's one of the leaders.
Oh.
And yeah, there. So I was hoping maybe we meet them, go there and he will tell me what to do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we did.
Wow.
We reached to Lhasa and Chushigandru, and there are some relatives of ours, kids who are in Sera Monastery. They also came there, So we have 5 kids there then.
Oh.
And then my uncle and they said, okay, you guys go ahead. And they have 2 wounded people with my uncle. One is shot in the arm, one shot here and came out the other side.
Oh.
And those 2 guys and then 2 other people to help us and all the kids, and we left Lhasa.
Lhasa was a very famous place.
Yes, reached to border to the India,
Yeah. How long did it take?
Oh gosh, maybe at least a month. I don't
Really?
know, but
From Loka?
from Lhasa to Indian border. Maybe not quite a month, but I don't know.
So you were escaping with these 5 kids, 2
Yes.
wounded soldiers, and 2 people to help you.
Yeah, right.
Can you tell me your feelings when you were doing that? How did it feel?
Well, it's kind of mixed feelings, For a long time, I was really worried about my father and my brother who are in Lhasa at that time. And I have no idea whether they made it or not,
Right.
And after we reached in Lhasa, I got a word from that this one guy came from Lhasa. He said, "Oh, they are safely." One of my neighbors' man, he was there, and we met him, and he said, "Oh, they safely went,
To where?
Reached northwest, and they have horses. And also, there's my neighbor, Salara, we call it. They have about 4 or 5 people with the horses and everything. They have also guns and stuff. They all went together left Lhasa,
They did.
and they got around from northwest, reached all the way around to India.
They went all the way
Ladakh,
over.
yeah. And they got in India before us. Yeah, before we did.
Even before you.
Yes.
So your father and your brother made it safely
They,
by going over
yes.
the northwest
They-
route. And where did they land in India? Where did they?
I think Ladakh.
Ladakh? They went that way.
somewhere, yeah,
Whoa,
yeah,
that's what I thought.
And,
Northwest, that's Ladakh.
yeah.
Yeah, they were really escaping the Chinese.
Right.
So tell us about the journey with you, your siblings. What happened on that journey? A month long. Why?
Almost month, I think. So it took us a long time because we all don't have horse riding, but kids have, and sometimes we walk. And then at one time, I was able to get a horse to ride, and we came like that. It felt like it's a long journey, maybe, I don't know, month or maybe shorter, I don't know.
What was the season? What weather?
Season right around higher mountains, it's still snowing and stuff in Lhasa, in Tibet area.
How did?
And we got to this one town called Sona. It's just one mountain pass to India. We got there at night, kind of, very late night, and it's snowing and very cold. And in that town, nobody was there. Everybody's left already to India,
It was abandoned.
Yes, kind of abandoned.
Did you get any food or any shelter there?
Yes, we got shelter, of course. And then we spent one night there, and then the next day, then we crossed the mountain. And the thing is, other side of the mountain, when you go down a little bit, it's all of a sudden, it's all green, and it's a really very happy feeling,
Yes.
Yeah.
Safe. You felt safe.
Hmm.
When you were traveling, did you have enough food to eat? Enough clothing?
We have clothing, but food is very limited. The elders, we have to kind of limit to eating,
Yes.
and
to give
of
to the
course
children.
we have to feed the kids.
Was everybody safe? Did anybody get hurt?
No, not really.
You were very lucky, huh?
Yeah, very lucky.
What happened to
And,
the man who was shot and the one with a bullet
Oh,
through his?
They, I think, got healed after they got to India.
They got healed.
Yes. One who shot in the shoulder, his brother, and they live in Kalimpong. After we reached there, I saw him. He's doing much better. And so
What else can you tell us about what other, do you remember about that journey? That was your journey. You were leaving Tibet. Did you think you were going to go back someday?
yeah, that was the feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe for a while, we've gone for a while, and then maybe can go back, And
When you left the monastery, you were all monks. You were a monk.
right.
Did you ask permission to take off your monk's robe, or did you escape as a monk?
No, we escaped. Just we have no choice. There's no.
There was
we
no
just
choice.
took off our robes, and we have also other clothing.
Other clothing.
Yes.
At that time, Were the other monks escaping in the monastery?
Yes,
They were.
also, they
So
are,
many other monks were leaving.
They are leaving, yes.
Did any of the
Lot of
monks leave to go fight with the Chushi Gandruk in Loka?
They might have joined some, And before we left, in our session, there are some people left to join Chushikandra.
Were they when you left? Were the Chinese attacking Ganden at all? Were they shooting it or dropping bombs on it?
No.
Nothing at
we
that
didn't
point.
see any Chinese
Yeah, that happened
at
later.
that time. That happened later after we all left.
After
I
you
think
left.
the Chinese came and destroyed everything. I think.
Oh. What was in your heart when you had to leave the monastery?
It's a very exciting feeling, We don't know what to think. I mean, trying to get out and try to be alive,
Yes.
And especially I really worried about my two kids,
Yeah.
Two brothers.
Yes.
If we get into a fighting or something, what is going to be happen to those two,
Yeah.
And my friends, 2 or 3 friends with me, they really helped me.
Oh,
Sometimes we had to carry them on the back, crossing till we get to Lhasa. And there are quite a big passes you have to go through.
Very big.
Mountains. And
That was very arduous.
yes.
Very scary.
Yes, quite scary.
Very scary. Did you run into any Chinese soldiers or
Not
anything?
really. There's one mount. It's a big hill right in the Lhasa. And they were saying there are still Chinese soldiers are in that mountain. They are hiding, and sometimes they shoot people, from there, But every evening, those Khambas are going up there to get them out,
Yeah,
That's what they
they
were
were-
doing when we left.
I see.
And we kind of 1 or 2 at a time,
Walking.
trying to walk down, and they never shot us
Didn't
or
shoot you.
anything.
Were
they
you?
never
Was
shoot
the
us.
snow very high when you were in
Oh yeah, some mountain,
on
yes.
some mountains?
We have to kind of horse and stuff first. We take them, and then hold on the tail and go,
Very arduous, very hard.
Yes.
Were the children frightened?
They are okay. They
They
are
were
not
okay?
really. They
They
have also mixed feeling.
Yeah.
It's kind of excitement sometimes.
When that journey was over, I'm just thinking, and many years later, did they ever talk to you about their memories of that journey? Did your brothers
Oh yeah, we sometimes
talk
talk
about
to
it?
each other,
Did they tell you their
And there are times we did that,
They did.
Yeah, we talk.
They must
I
have been.
have 2 brothers live, the oldest and the youngest brother, they live in Salt Lake,
Salt
in
Lake
the
City.
Utah. And my younger brother, 1/3 brother, he lives in Calgary, in Canada. And one of my younger brother is in Nepal, and 1 sister, and the youngest sister is in Sikkim, Gangtok. So we are all scattered around.
Oh, you are scattered all over.
And over here it's okay. Canada, Utah, we, reunite once a year,
Yeah.
either here or Canada or Utah.
When you met, did you meet up with your parents again? Did you meet
Oh
your
yes,
father
of course,
and your mother?
after we
in
arrived
India?
in India, yes, they were
Really?
so glad. Yeah.
They were so glad.
Yes, of course.
What did your father say about how you rescued your brothers? And
Oh, then you did good job.
he said you did a good job. Yeah.
Yeah.
About
Of
and your
course
mother,
they
what did
did.
she say?
She was so glad that we made it out.
She was so glad.
And they were so worried, And,
Of course they were worried. And you were worried about them.
oh yes, of course. I was worried about my father and my younger brother who were in Lhasa, you know. Of course, they got it out from
Yeah.
going around northwest.
Great. Was there ever a time in India or a year when the whole family came together? Like, did
Yes,
that happen?
yeah.
And about what year was that?
Soon after
Like
I arrived, 1959, end of 1959.
you arrived in India.
Yes.
And your father and brother?
Yes,
They
they
were
are
there?
all there. They reached India before us.
Yeah.
They did, you know.
Yes.
And
your mother?
so once in a while we get together.
I see. When in India?
Yes, in India.
When you did get to India, what did you do?
In India, Dalai Lama started a school in Missouri,
Yes.
25 students.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one of them.
You were one of the students?
Yes.
One of the
And I was there about 2 years, maybe, not quite, something like that. And then when we were there, besides us going to class, you have to teach smaller, children. They keep coming, maybe 50, 60 at a time, you know. So at that time, Indian government is not supporting the refugee schools, you know. And so all they do is use the foreign aids, and also a lot of volunteer teachers, you know, come and teach English, and also some Indians, they teach Hindi. Then we are kind of a little older, so we have to teach them, also take some other classes, you know, and Tibetan class. Yeah.
So for a
So after
boy who
that,
did not like school, you got to be a teacher.
Really, and I didn't mind, you know. Then after that, they sent us, maybe 10 of us, to Lucknow teacher training school.
Really?
Yes. So we went there, teacher training school. After we finished that, then I ended up in Missouri. There's a Tibetan Children's Foundation. They started and they want me to stay there.
Wow. So you became a teacher in Missouri?
Yes, about 3 years.
Really?
Till I came to the States.
Did you like teaching?
It's okay, yeah, of course.
Were you nice to your
I didn't
students?
mind. I do.
Were you a better teacher than the one you had?
Oh yeah, of course.
You were better.
Yes.
You taught them.
I mean, yeah, it's
You taught them
completely different way
different
of
way.
teaching.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah.
Because you knew there's
Yes,
another way to
that's
teach.
right.
So did you feel you got good training at that school at Lucknow teachers?
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
So you had 3 years teaching in Missouri, and then you came to here.
To the States, yes.
You came to the States. So
I
what
got
year would that have
opportunity.
been?
That'd be in 1967.
In '67. Wow.
Yes.
So you've been here ever since.
Ever since.
Ever
Right.
since. Well, I'm so glad you survived your escape
I know.
from Gaden Monastery.
Yeah,
Did you
that's
ever
right.
go back and see it?
Yes, we did in 2004.
Really? What did you think?
2004, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. And also, I went to Sera, I went to Drepung, and all those 3 monasteries I went to see. And after that, 2005, I took my daughter to Kham, Karze and Karze, and then to Lhasa and all that. Yeah.
Wow.
My daughter went to summer school in Beijing.
Did she?
Yes, and so when she finished that, I meet him there, and I took her
You took her
around
in.
Kham area. And, yeah,
I
that's
bet you've
good.
seen many changes in Lhasa.
Oh yes, Lhasa
Huge.
is so crowded, and it's kind of sad looking around the Potala Palace. You know, you see all the Chinese big signs all over,
I know.
and they are Tibetan signs, but letters are smaller.
Yeah.
You don't see much. You know. Yeah.
Well, you certainly saw a whole change in Tibetan history from the
Yes.
time you were little to when you went back, 2005.
Right.
Maybe we can kind of conclude by asking, what would be your wishes for Tibet? What do you wish will happen?
Oh God, same as the Dalai Lama's wish. I mean, you know, really.
Yeah.
And
And what is that wish?
go back and live peacefully between China and Tibet. We could live together. But it's maybe seems like impossible right now. Yeah.
No. What do you hope that your children and your grandchildren will preserve from Tibet? What part of Tibetan culture and history and religion do you think is important for them to preserve?
Yes, of course. And good thing is my daughter married with a Tibetan who came from Tibet, went to school in Utah for his English study, and he's quite learned in Tibetan, and he was teacher in Tibet, I think. And so I'm sure she can learn from him a lot of the Tibetan histories and
Oh, that's good.
stuff. So, yeah.
Well, you have helped us learn about some Tibetan history today.
Oh, thank you.
And
Yeah.
Ngawang
much
La, I want to
better.
thank you. I will ask you again at the conclusion,
Yes.
if this interview was shown in Tibet or China, would this be a problem for you?
I don't think so. There's nothing
Okay.
much to, you know.
Okay. So thank you for sharing your story
Sure.
with us.
You are much welcome.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
you're doing a great job as His Holiness wishes, you know. And thank you for doing all this
You're welcome.
so you can preserve something. And